So Kim Storey is also at Highland Bank, and I'm having Kim talk about the SBA because while part of banking is its own kind of subset, and I think from a company perspective, it's important to understand the differences and the nuances. And so Kim, tell us a little bit about SBA lending.
Great, thanks Rick. So there is a lot of SBA activity in this market. Minnesota is consistently one of the top SBA lenders in the country, which is awesome. That's why we do a lot of it here. Banks pull in SBA loans when they're looking at companies that maybe need a longer maturity for their loan, maybe have a little thinner collateral margin, don't have enough assets, or maybe it's a less seasoned kind of a startup business or a company that's maybe like a service business or something like that. So by having an SBA guarantee, that really provides that additional degree of protection that a lender is going to want to provide that loan to a company. So basically, by having a guarantee, you can kind of absorb the risks associated with the fact that a business is newer, maybe in a particular industry that you maybe don't always lend to, or, as I mentioned, needing that longer repayment ability. So a bank makes the loan, and it's guaranteed by the SBA. So if you're looking for SBA loans, you go to a bank in town, and then they actually work through the SBA to get that loan done. So there's 3 primary programs that are kind of the most popular in SBA. So there's the 7A program, and that provides loans like for equipment purchases, business acquisitions, long-term working capital. You can do real estate with that program, and that program goes up to $5 million. Then there is the 504 loan program, and banks primarily use that for commercial real estate. And that debenture piece can actually go up to $5 million, so your building loan could go up to like almost $11 million using that program. The only caveat is that the small business owner has to occupy 51% or more of that building, so it can't be investment property, it has to be owner occupied. And then there's another smaller program that really comes in handy for some companies. It's called the Express Loan Program. And that program offers loans up to $350,000. Banks primarily use that for lines of credit. And there's certainly a need for companies that maybe need a line, less than $350,000. So we do a lot of those annually. So there's, the SBA really allows the bank to underwrite the loan, but there are some requirements that every bank in the country has to follow when they're looking at SBA financing. And it's basically equity, collateral, and repayment. So as far as equity goes, the small business owner has to put in at least 10% if they're looking at a new business, or if they're acquiring business, or if they're buying real estate. A bank might want 15, 20%, but the SBA is saying at least 10%. So we can't finance more than 90% of the cost of one of those things, which is pretty generous. I think conventionally a bank is going to want maybe 20, 25% down. I've already been asked about collateral a couple of times in this session. So the SBA, they require the business to pledge all their assets. If there's a shortfall in those assets and they have equity in their primary real estate, they do have to pledge a mortgage on that. Otherwise, there's no requirement for having a loan fully secured. So basically, that opens up the window for a lot of software companies or service companies that don't have the assets to secure it, and they can get an SBA loan with that. And then also repayment is kind of the third thing. So a company has to show that they have the ability to repay the loan. So it's kind of past that venture capital stage where they actually have to show that they can, if they can't historically projected, they have to show that they can service that debt. So I think it's a great option for companies that are maybe kind of in between venture capital stage and conventional financing. As long as they have, a reasonable equity investment, adequate collateral, or at least they're pledging what they have, and they're able to furnish, the ability to repay the loan from earnings, then that's like our quintessential SBA candidate.
Great. And then what location are you out of at Highland?
I'm in Maple Grove, but I
Grove.
travel all over the place.
But you travel all over. Great. Thank you very much.